The Oklahoma Expungement Law can affect you and really anyone that you know, but what in the world is it and how does it work? I have attorney Clint James here with us to talk all about it. Not even easy to say. I know folks at home are like, well, expungement law?
Right.
What does that even mean? Let's start there.
So the basics of what an expungement does, if you've ever had an arrest or even some tickets in your past, an expungement allows me to go through and completely rip it off of your record as if it never happened. And it gives someone the ability to say, yeah, I've never been arrested or this has never occurred. And that applies to misdemeanors, a great majority of felonies, and as well as things like protective orders and forfeitures, as well as driver's license appeals that might accompany like a DUI arrest. So there's a large swath of bad things that we can take off with an expungement.
It's almost like a reboot, right? I mean, it gives you, because those things can affect a lot of things, where you live, your job, really your whole future, right?
Exactly, and there's a common misconception that a lot of people have that, oh, after 7 years, 10 years, this will just fall off of my record. Oklahoma doesn't have that. If you have a DUI in college or an arrest from 15, 20 years ago, if it's on your OSBI background check, it's going to stay there until we go through and pull it off.
So how do you do that? Folks are thinking, wow, this sounds pretty good to be true. How does that work from a law point of view?
So from a legal standpoint, we go in and we explain to the court why you are eligible. We lay it out in very plain terms so that everybody involved understands that our client is entitled to have this thing come off. And we go through, and the way that our office does it, we get these done by agreement. We try to make it to where our client's life is interrupted as little as possible, and we can get a judge to sign off on an order for expungement without our clients having to come into court or having to go through a lot of inconvenience and take off work. So in that way we can get it off their record without it really interrupting their day-to-day life.
You're not talking about dangerous people or repeat offenders or those types of things, I'm sure, right? These are kind of like a one-off, like, you know, had an accident in my past, right?
You'd be surprised the things that you can get off. Violent felonies, you can't expunge, but there are a lot.
For good reason, right?
Exactly,
yeah.
Right. But there are a lot more things that we can remove from someone's background than what you would expect. Now, I have people call me all the time, and they don't think that they're eligible, or they don't think that they've waited long enough, and you would be surprised. Our legislature has removed the requirements every year, or lowered the amount of time to allow people to get things off of their records. So it's made it easier and easier here recently to remove things from someone's background check.
Yeah, and Clint, we have about 20 seconds. I just want to ask a change in the statute over the past year. Is that what you're talking about, to make it a bit easier?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So we've been able to get felony convictions off of people's record a lot easier. The pardon requirement has been removed, and the time to get a felony conviction off of your record has dropped from something like 10 years, and even before then, 20 years, down to 5 years after the end of your sentence. So we can get a lot more stuff off of people's records today.